Hey, what's going on guys? My name's Chad, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Vaxee Outset. Now, this mouse really surprised me because I've never been able to aim on an Ergo mouse before, but this thing was pretty nasty, especially in Counter-Strike. And for the sake of disclosure, Vaxee did send this out to me for review, but that's not going to affect anything I have to say about it. My goal is the same as always, which is just to give you my honest opinion and true experience with the product. So all of Vaxee's mice are the same price, which is $59.99, and the unboxing experience here is very plain and simple. Inside the box, you just get the mouse itself covered in protective foam, and that's it. They don't include any extras, but the mouse does come very well protected. The Outset comes in two colorways, matte black and glossy white, and after using them both for a while, I definitely prefer the matte finish. It feels premium, it's really comfortable, and it offers pretty good grip. My hands can get a little sweaty on this finish, and once that moisture gets on the coating, it kind of stays there, and this did make my hands slip sometimes, so if you have really sweaty hands, then this might be a problem. Both the matte and glossy versions have the same textured black buttons, which feels pretty different from the rest of the mouse. I feel like it gives me a little extra grip, and it does feel nice, but the expense of the mouse looking and feeling a little less uniform. Now, this definitely isn't a lightweight mouse as it weighs in at 76 grams. It really feels solid in the hand with absolutely no creaking or flexing, but the build quality on all of my Vaxee mice is the same, and it's top notch. The dimensions here are 117mm long, 59mm wide at the grip, and 43mm tall in the middle of the mouse. The shape should look familiar to you as it's very similar to the EC2 with some minor tweaks. Now, I'm not even sure what it is about this mouse compared to the EC2, but the shape on the Outset just feels more natural to me, and my hand feels really stable and well supported with any grip style that I use. It has really high levels of comfort, and overall, it's just an incredible ergonomic shape, probably the very best I've ever used. They've moved on from the buttons being integrated into the shell of the mouse, and now the buttons have their own separate compartment, and I do have a little more button wobble on these mice compared to my older FK2, but I've never noticed it in game, and I wouldn't lose any sleep over it. The buttons feel light, crispy, and fast to actuate, and thankfully I didn't have any issues with accidental clicks. These light clicks really make the mouse feel super responsive and precise. None of my mice really have any pre-travel at all. It's more post-travel than anything, and the main buttons on all of my mice feel great. The side buttons on all of my Vaxee mice also feel great. There's minimal pre-travel with a little bit of post, but they sound and feel really solid. Their positioning feels good to me, but it does leave a little bit of room in between your thumb and the buttons, depending on how you grip the mouse. But overall, I really like them, and they're a huge upgrade over the buttons on my old FK2. They've also upgraded their scroll wheels compared to older Vaxee mice, which is great to see because the old ones were terrible. The new ones are very tactile, so you can easily feel each step. They're a little harder to spam, but overall, it's way better than their older wheels, but somehow they managed to make them louder. So the way I see this is it's an incredible scroll wheel in game, but when you're browsing the web on your PC, it's a little bit annoying, but I love the feel and function of it in game, and I think it's great there. Flipping it over, we have two huge PTFE feet here, and these feel pretty decent. They're not super fast and smooth, but they're definitely good enough to get the job done. The sensor is a Pixart 3389, which is pretty much flawless and top of the line. I wouldn't even worry about it. The only thing you need to know are the default steps, which are 400, 800, 1600, and 3200. Also, you can't set a custom DPI on this mouse because there's no software for it. This mouse is completely plug and play. There's three buttons here on the bottom, which let you adjust your DPI, polling rate, and your debounce times. Also, the lift-off distance is adjustable by holding different combinations of buttons when you plug in the mouse. The cable stress relief is angled upwards to prevent drag on your mouse pad, but sadly the cable feels pretty thick and heavy. It reminds me of the first glorious cables on the original Model O, but this is even worse than that. This is definitely my least favorite thing about these mice, and it doesn't feel like the cable's quality is on par with everything else. So I think in order to get the most out of this mouse, you would need to replace the stock cable, and I would just go ahead and order some core pads while you're at it, since you're going to have to remove the stock feet anyways to swap out the cable. At this point, you would have an insane setup, but that price is going to push upwards of $90 total. There's no RGB or anything fancy or flashy on these mice. These are all about shape, aim, and performance, and I think they do that pretty well. Tracking on the stock feet is smooth enough to get great results, and I had really good control of the mouse reading flick shots and just general use, but again, the cable was pretty underwhelming, and even in a bungee, I found it to be really distracting. Overall, this is an excellent ergonomic mouse, and it's easy to recommend, especially if you're willing to spend the extra $30 to replace the stock feet and cable. That's gonna wrap this one up, guys. If you have any questions about this mouse, leave me a comment and I will get to it as soon as I can. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.